Representative Scott, please.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I want to thank each of you and everybody in your command for your service. Admiral, given your unique position in Indo-Pacific Command, you have observed the Communist Chinese regime. Is it your personal opinion that General Secretary Xi will take over Taiwan by force if he sees the opportunity?
Senator, I don't think I would try to predict. I think what I would tell you is the mission that I've been given is, number one, to prevent this conflict. Number two, if deterrence fails, to be able to fight and win, which leads me to a place that says I need to be ready should he make that choice.
Thank you. Admiral, in your personal opinion, do you believe that this administration is given proper attention to the possibility of Communist China invading Taiwan?
I think, as stated by the Secretary and the administration, the priority theater, most consequential theater for the future of the United States is the Indo-Pacific theater, and the most concerning strategic competitor is the PRC. So I think that articulation and that priority has been well stated, Senator.
Admiral, has the Pacific Defense Initiative been properly funded, and does it provide the right counter to Communist China and its threats in the region?
I thank the committee for support to the Indo-Pacific, and as articulated in the law, Senator, I'll continue to provide the requirements as identified and tasked by the NDAA to identify my critical requirements. And again, I thank the committee as we work through the legislation process. As you know, I submitted my unfunded list. It was based on that report, and I'll continue to do so.
Thank you. Admiral, as we discussed the last time you were before us, I have introduced legislation that calls for the building up of Taiwan's defenses as well as preparations in the United States that will allow us to aid Taiwan if Communist China attacks or tries to change its government using military coercion. My bill also calls for a more transparent, realistic, and necessary policy change. We must announce clearly that our position toward aiding Taiwan is not ambiguous. Communist China should know that we will come to Taiwan's defense, and since we last spoke, even the Japanese government made clear that it would not tolerate a Chinese military move against Taiwan. So here's my first question. Do you believe that preventing Communist China from controlling Taiwan is a strategic necessity for the United States?
Senator, I completely support the One China policy, operate in accordance with the Taiwan's Relations Act, 6 communiques, 3 assurances, and I think that's going to be a policy decision. I think there's certainly implications, but I'm standing by to support the requirements and tasks as identified by the National Security Council.
After the administration's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan and the failure to be able to deter Putin from invading Ukraine, do you believe that this has emboldened Xi to try to take Taiwan by force?
I think we're still trying to learn what President Xi Jinping has learned from this event, and we continue to watch to try to identify, has he learned the correct lessons as it applies to the changing world order and the concern that we see in the Ukraine.
Thank you. General, with the election yesterday in Korea, and even before that, have you seen any change in South Korea's attitude towards Communist China and concern about the risk of Beijing's aggressive actions?
Thanks, Senator. There's a relationship that they have, a diplomatic and an economic relationship and a cultural relationship that they have with China. I have not seen any major changes in that relationship. The current administration's been on working towards peace declaration as its priority.
So as we've watched China's aggressive actions, do you think the general public in Korea is taking note, and now that as they've watched Putin invade Ukraine, has that had any impact on the attitude in South Korea to want to bolster their defenses and support what we're doing to help defend them?
It's hard for me to ascertain. I've been stateside since the invasion began, so I just anecdotally are getting reports on kind of the reaction. The political reaction is that President Moon has taken action against the Russians from a sanctions perspective, and it's costing them economically.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Scott.